Now on to the inside of our rhino case. You can clearly see here where the inside of the case has been clearance for the stroker crank. These are clearances for the end of the rods, and this section here has been clearance for the counterweights on the crank, and you can see them throughout. You can also see the edge of the case where it has been clearance for the counterweights of the stroker crank, which are also been added to and are much larger than the counterweights on a stock crank or a smaller stroke crank. One of the problems with either the rhino case or the Silverline bearings that they give you for the case is the oil hole for the bearings is not lined up with the oil channel in the back of the bearings. I've watched several videos on YouTube where they said to check this and of course fix the bearing, because this oil hole is not where it needs to be. You can see that this side of the bearing is bigger than this side, and what has happened is this is the side over here which is supposed to be the bigger side. You can see this is off center just a little bit. So this dowel pin is correct where it's at, but this side of the bearing, which has a bigger channel, okay, should have been this side of the bearing. So this oil hole here should actually be drilled away or to the center more and not in the line. This oil channel, if it were to line up with this oil hole, would go through the edge of the dowel pin, and that's not going to work. Okay, this channel is designed to hold all the oil going to this bearing on the crank, and also goes into the crank through the bearing here to oil the rod bearings on the crank. This is the only way for the oil to get into the rod bearings on the crank. So the key to have all the oil that comes out of this hole go into this channel. So if you can see the mark that I have here on this bearing, I am going to take a die grinder and I am going to cut this out so that all that oil goes into the center channel. Now this has to be done. I don't know. I saw it as a problem on a stock case that somebody had got, a new stock case, and this is a rhino case, and I don't know if the drill hole is offset wrong or if the bearings are wrong, but I don't see how with the pin that this channel would work going through where the pin is. It would have to be here. So it appears to me that the oil hole drilled into the main bearing here is offset incorrectly. It should be offset farther this way to line up with this channel. An easy fix is to just grind out the bearings so that it will channel all the oil into these holes and then to the crankshaft.